in 7 years. That was here, okay? And now what do we have? Now, hey everybody, hope you had a great trading day. Kind of a wild one to say the least. 5 Fed speakers, and we still have some this evening. I just want to go through 5 names that you should be looking at this week, specifically for tomorrow. And one of those is going to be Lowe's. Now, people are going to say, why Lowe's? Well, we saw Home Depot's numbers, right? So we're already aware that this sector's weak, and that whatever Home Depot does, we're probably going to see something with Lowe's doing something similar. So we saw the action in Lowe's, and we see how we really rallied right to the 21, then came down, closed right in this mess. Now, this is what you didn't see, and let's really zoom in on this. I think there's a short here going into earnings. I don't think you're going to see a lot of people want to own this going into earnings, but you're going to have to kind of watch this tomorrow. So this is going to be a short-term trade. Most of the videos that we go over Monday through Thursday, they're short-term trades. Sometimes we'll lob something in that's a little longer term. But you see this coming straight across, bonk, 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 right? And you tried to get above it, you couldn't, that 194.51. Now you're right here. So that 194.51 would be your stop. What you want to do tomorrow is just, if you can get through that bar, 193, you're probably going to go lower. And all you're really looking to do is get up and in the short, or you can do it with puts in the money puts. If you're trying to get in before earnings and then see how it acts on earnings. And you never know how these are going to act going into earnings. We just don't know. Last time was disastrous, right? This time we spiked down. Let's try to see if there's a good one. Yep, here's a good one where we went up. So we just don't know what's going to happen. I would say with the way retail numbers are coming out, the fact that Lowe's is a little more high end, and they don't really do construction business with the contractors the same way that Home Depot does. They try, but it's just not the same. The Home Depot has it down there with science. So just be aware of that level. And if you're looking for a really quick short, I think you're staring right at one. And it's not a lot of risk either. If you're at 193 to 194.50, you're looking at $1.50 of risk, and you can see 187, 188, and you can get there before. And the goal is to get up and in it before. Make sure you stay to the end, because we need to go through the indexes and the bond market, because one of the top 5 trades is going to be in that sector. But there are some longs in this tonight, and we're going to start explaining why. We're going to start looking at longs in a minute. I just want to point out the obvious, okay, and then we'll get into the details. We are in a downtrend, okay? That is not I'm not going out on the limb there. We know we're in a downtrend, right? We can see this. I've got 3 trend lines right down here. Let's clean these trend lines out, and let's just talk about this for a moment. So a double bottom is formed when you cut off the previous undercut, right? So you cut off lower than that. So you have a lower low and you undercut. Then when this is a possible double bottom, when does it become a real double bottom? It becomes a real double bottom when you close over that level. So you've closed over that level and you have a double bottom. Now, if you overlay your indicators, you are above the 50-day. Whether you stay above the 50-day and go, right? Or you pull one of these where you're up for 2 or 3 days, remains to be seen. My argument is that you have to understand is you are still in a downtrend. So until that changes, you have to respect that downtrend, and you have to respect where you are in it. So based upon that, I'm going to be honest, you got to just be quick here and keep moving your stop up. And when you get stopped, that's it. It's not realistic to think that we're going back to 150, 160 anytime soon, but could you get to 110 or 120? Yeah, you could. So all you're really going to want to do tomorrow is just watch that 103.20 level, get over that, and then we can kind of see where we go from there. Now, VTNR, this is in the energy space. Energy space has been on fire. Now, if you look right here coming across, we formed a long-legged doji. Long-legged dojis, as we know, are wicks, right? We got wick up here, wick up here. What are wicks? Wicks are price rejection. What do we have in the middle of that? We've made a decision. We're going to fill up that gap. Now, they took us to 15.22 before closing us down and getting us over that 15.15. If you get over 15.25 tomorrow, this could go, and this could be fast. You still have 4 days to cover the entire short position, and people are not going to be as apt to be short with this one thing I'm going to point out in a moment that I think people need to look at. But another really good short idea tomorrow, and people will look at this and go, oh, I missed it. You didn't miss anything. This is the lowest the stock has come in since 1987 in one day, okay? Now, we've had 2 major blow-ups in this field, right? We've had the Amazon blow-up, which had the first quarterly loss from operations that you had in 7 years. That was here, okay? And now what do we have? Now we have Walmart coming out and just being dumpster fire of the day. I mean, it was just an awful quarter on every metric. But the move down tells you everything. The open and then just the straight down, everything you need to know. So I would not be surprised to see another day of this. And so all you're going to look for is just getting to that 130.64. Now, all you have to do is just kind of look for your new lows, right? So you have a little low right here, 126, okay, 28. You broke that 132 level. So that's all you're looking for out of this. But I think that's very realistic. Let's clean that one out. I think it's very realistic to see that. Please make sure you comment on this video. It helps me with how you think it could be better, specifically about names that we go over. You know, if you tell me that you're interested in stop levels, that's why you're hearing me mention them. So let's get into the indexes and talk about what's going on here. Now, here we are coming straight across. Are we in a downtrend? Yes. This doesn't get any cleaner than rounding straight down, right? But straight down is not a pattern. So we can go up and bounce around. But we need to be cognizant of where we're at. And we're going to take a moment and get rid of all these indicators. And we're going to just zoom in on this. This was the last time that we were up where we were going to hit a higher high. And this is what we were dealing with, okay? And then we traded up after hours, very similar to what we're doing now. And then we fell apart and went down substantially, 12% in a very short period of time. To put it in perspective, and this is because I'm pointing this out so you understand you're in a downtrend. So this could happen again. You're down 14% in 8 trading days. So understand that, and now let's focus. Why is this a little different? Well, this is a little tighter than this, right? This was a little wild on Jay Powell saying we're not going to do 75 basis points. This has been getting tighter the whole time, stepping us up, right? Lower high, right? See where I'm going with this? You have a higher low here, higher low, right? You had some lower highs, but you kept making higher lows. So it's getting tighter and tighter. It has to make a decision. This 306, as I was pointing out today, yep, this is a left shoulder, this is a right shoulder, this is the head. That's all fine and dandy. You still need to break the line for that to happen, and you're sitting right on it. Now, after hours, they're trading you up, which doesn't make me happy. It means that they're just playing games. I prefer that they didn't, but knowing where you're at in the pecking order and knowing this, and this is the point that I really want to hammer home, and people are wondering why their shorts aren't working and their options are imploding, and I'm going to explain it to you. See how you're above that 5-day right here? Okay, the last time you were above the 5-day this long and had the 5-day start curling up was back here in March. And we had that nice run in March before everything fell away. We're having the same thing here. And that's the point that I'm getting at. It's very possible that you could have another run like this. Does that mean that the bottom's in? No. All it means is the bottom might be in for now. But you need to use this 5-day as a guide. If you get below that 5-day, you're going to want to get out of the way, okay? You're not going to want to be in this. But forming hammers, 5 Fed speakers, earnings behind us, we're seeming to get our sea legs here. And I'm spending a lot of time on this because I want you to understand where you're at in the order. Here's the 8-day. So you're above a 5-8. So if I get a 5-8 cross here, just like I got a 5-8 cross here, right? This is the reversal. So that's what you want to focus on, okay? Now, this is why your options aren't working. Right? Your options are not working because the VIX is collapsing. The implied volatility of options, some of the options that you're out there buying on like Coin or even Apple's options were well over 100%. Coins were like 260% implied vol for the at the money weeklies. This is why you're not going to make any money on options. It's just going to get completely sucked up. So tend to avoid options during this period till this can find some kind of base. But to go back to the TQQ trade, all you're looking for is a higher high tomorrow. Okay, you break that out. Okay, 31.24 would be your stop, and all you're really looking for is just to get over 33.10. This is a decent spot to give it a shot to see if you can pull something like this off, okay, and to see if it's possible to get back up to like this peak anchored VWAP. I don't know if you're going to do it in a day, a week, a month. I have no idea. I would think that this would take weeks to get back up to here, but you just never know how fast once you start to move. But keep that in mind. Your very first target is just going to be a higher high, which would be 42, which is still over a 33% move. So to me, it's worth risking the $2. That's it. That's all I have. As always, if you need anything, just please comment below. Please share this video. I know a lot of people are sharing the video, and I appreciate that. I'm just trying to get in front of as many people as possible because that helps support the channel. Everybody have a great evening and trade to win tomorrow. Time frame. We are going to be using a 2-minute time frame. If you're not familiar with this, every trading platform has a 2-minute time frame. You just have to go in and change your settings. We are going to use a 2-minute time frame because based upon the movement of algorithms and high frequency traders, the 1 minute has entirely too much noise now. As always, we have to adapt to what is going on around us.